Yo, what is up, everybody? It's Rasco back again. Another chapter from the story titled The Dream, written by Gracie Tello. Remember to use the links in the description below. Show love to the author, like, comment, and subscribe. Chapter 4. The months slipped by, each day blending into the next. The day after we moved in, another group, a group of 5 young boys, moved into the mansion across from ours. We often peer out of their windows and laugh at them exercising. Besides this, we have no other connection with the outside world. One day, we walk into the dining room, not even looking at each other's faces. We all know what we are thinking. We begin eating, silently. Melanie seems not to notice, but she carefully watches us. Finally, it is Quinlan who speaks. Hey, I know this is hard on everyone, but at least we can get through this together. I know it's too hard for me to do by myself. I look up, surprised. She speaks so infrequently that this is amazing that she does. Quinlan traces her finger around the design of her cup, peach tea. It's a month till we are going to be executed. I know we all noticed the countdown. We only have one more month together. One more month before we die. Wow, that's a way to rip a band-aid off a wound. I clench my jaw. The room is so silent you can hear a pin drop. I see tears slowly trickle down Meg's face. You're right, Quinlan. We can't just run away from it, Madison agrees. Jelly just looks at her food, unspeaking. But I can see in her eyes she's relieved. Thankfully, Melanie breaks away the awkward pause. I have good news for you. The system has agreed, due to your record of good behavior, to allow you to have contact with the outside world. I must warn you, it will be very hard. You have talked to no one outside the government officials and yourselves for the last 3 years. At the same time, it can be really fun. Here are some regulations. She unfolds a crisp letter. Government steel, still impressed on the front. The members must not reveal themselves as such to any other individual. They must not purposely make contact with any non-member, but must wait for the civilian to approach them. If any misdemeanor takes place, disciplinary actions will immediately be put in place. Regulations on food and contraband are still binding outside the system. We all glance at each other. We get to leave? You get to see regular members of society? I am tremendously excited, but fear seems to swallow me. What will have changed? Will I be able to fit in without looking obvious? I hear my heart pumping in my ears. For the first time in ages, we see a conveyor truck pull up, and we all pile into the back. It's gonna be so fun, Quinlan whispers. I'm so excited. I wonder what we'll see, Madison adds. Jelly grunts, weirdly upset at having to go. We are taken down to a little country road, up and down the green, grassy hills. Finally, we approach the forest. The car pours off to the side of the road. What are we doing? Melanie leads us along a little foot trail through the waving grass. We all laugh and jump, rolling about like children. Meg, Madison, and Quinlan each have a bouquet of small wildflowers. After we beg her, Melanie waits while Quinlan and Meg weave flowers into my hair. As we continue along, we keep asking her where we are going, but she only gives us a small smile. We finally get to the edge of the forest. A gurgling creek winds its way between the small clumps of willow and aspen. We see several young families with little children all around, each having a picnic or playing in the creek. Tears fill our eyes. It has been years since we have seen a baby or a child. We all split up and find places along the creek, each hoping a child will come to us. A few toddle over to me, and I gently play with them and splash around in the water with them. They're so young. They have so much hope and potential. Even though I'm going to die, life will still continue. Babies will still be born and grow up. People will still be happy, and everything will be alright in the end. I wonder if any of these little ones here will have an experience like the ones we did in the system. A small girl sits on my lap, pulling my hair with her fists. I smile. Who knew such small pleasures could mean so much? I imagine my family. I hope they are doing well. I wonder if the thought of me still deeply pains their hearts. I hope they can move on and enjoy life. I hope they won't be miserable because of me. I wish I could tell them I was happy during the 4 years in the system, and that I do not fear death, especially since I have friends to share it with. All too soon, we are headed back. Watching the sunset in brilliant colors, we wrap our arms around each other. Yes, even Shelly. Melanie gives us a few moments by ourselves, and then we all crowd back into the truck. Our first day of our last month is done. I stand on a grassy hill, looking out over the green waves that reach the dark forest. It's so beautiful, sharp against the stunning blue sky. My mouth stands open. My eyes hurt with unshed tears. It seems unreal. I'm gonna die today. I'm just 17. It seems so young now. I wish this was a dream. I pinch myself, hoping against hope that I will suddenly pop out of bed. I shake my head in my imagination. This is real life. This is actually happening. I am really, truly going to be killed. I turn and see Shelly behind me. It's time to go back home for one last time. Silently, we walk back. Wouldn't this be crazy if this was a dream? I asked with a laugh. Shelly looks at me, unconvinced. Olivia, this isn't a dream. I know, but Wouldn't it be crazy if this was? Shelly sighs. I know it's unfair of me to make her think about this, to make her think about hope. I continue anyway. Gazing across onto the other side, I see the boys hard at exercise. The first few were taking their last day of exercise seriously. The last two were quite slow. Look across at the boys group. This was a dream. It would be so detailed. I know every single one of those boys. Milo, Portson, Adam, the junior, Inspector, Mr. Strad, Xander Costin, and Jacob Johnson. Shelly is silent. I wish this was just a dream, and that I could wake up and tell Madison about it in the morning. But this isn't a dream. This is real life, and I am going to die today. Shelly grimaces. Well, glad you finally came to terms with it. Melanie meets us on the steps on our little mansion. Her face seems to be torn between two emotions. Immediately, Shelly and I tense. I've heard news from the government. I feel my blood turn cold. What can have changed? Unlike typical custom, you will not be brought to the plaza for execution. The execution will take place here, right down the hill. This means the execution will take place a little earlier. Why? Melanie just seems torn, but she merely shrugs her shoulders. Must be more convenient. Fear chokes me. Something's wrong. Closing my eyes, I sigh. One way or another, I'm going to die. Does where matter at all that much? We spend most of the day silent. Madison and I sit together, sometimes talking, sometimes quiet. Meg and Quinlan shed a few tears too, but for the most part, we are calm. We have been prepared for this. The five of us walk slowly down the hill to the place of our execution. People have already gathered to watch, but they barely even look at us now. Without the platform and a courtyard structure of the plaza, everyone moves about or talks in clumps. To my surprise, few reporters and other news people are there broadcasting the event as well. Is our execution this important? Two parallel ropes are already laid out, and we are lined up with it. The boys group, however, are still not lined up. They are talking or randomly interspersed among the pre, junior, and actual inspectors that are gathered to watch. Looking down, I notice the two parallel ropes are also much further apart than usual. What's going on? Suddenly, from the corner of our eye, we see a black object point towards us. Click. Screams erupt all around me. I flinch, ducking down. Shelly and Quinlan are shaking, clinging to each other on the ground. I turn and look. My fear sinks as a blush rises into my cheeks. It's a camera. The boys from the other group chuckle. A few of them even laugh at us. Wow, the system sure didn't make you brave enough to die. Anger burns in my heart, and all I want to do is slap them. Though, when I think it over, slapping a guy who laughed at me isn't on my top 10 things to do right before I die. So, it'll have to wait. A hush stills over the audience. An inspector, the handheld mic, turns to us. Step forward. We freeze, fear coursing through us. What is going on? The only time they have you step forward, in between those two parallel ropes, is when you are going to be shot. Are they just going to kill us all now? All in one go? The boys from the other group aren't even lined up in front of us either. With bated breath, we all take the step forward together. My eyes are clamped shut, my body tense. I expect at any moment to hear that dreadful bang and feel my blood trickling from me. But it never comes. I open my eyes. Glancing around, I see all 5 of us are still standing, living and breathing, in between the parallel lines. A rustling noise comes up beside us. 2 inspectors are dragging 2 tarps in between the lines. What? This has gotta be a dream. What's going on? Please step into the tarps. Slowly, we shuffle forward. My mind is whirling, stars shooting off in all directions. I know what's happening. I have heard of this before. Every now and again, for no apparent reason, the government decides to pick one member of the system to go free, to return to regular life. Typically, though, the person is determined by a test. My mind screams, and a terrible headache rages. The 5 of us are not going to die altogether. One will be chosen to live, to move on. The question really is, do I want to live? I have been through this system. I have been through 4 years of all this training just to prepare me to be killed. I have expected it, processed through it, and accepted it. Now, this all might be changed. Mop the floor. I'm so confused. We don't have mops, and there isn't even a floor. Groaning inwardly, I grab an imaginary mop and begin wiping it across the floor. Jelly, Madison, Quillen, and I all twist around in our little tarp, like an awkward waltz. Wait, where's Meg? I turn and look. On the other tarp, Meg is kneeling, scrubbing the floor with her hands. My shock is complete. Of course. My mind buzzes with questions, but somewhere in my anxiety, I know I've missed something. Something that Meg understands. She is the one who is going to be saved. I sink to my knees, barely thinking of what I'm doing. With all my might, I begin scrubbing the tarp with my hands. To my surprise, none of the others notice. I gaze up at them. Don't they realize what is happening? Maybe what I'm thinking doesn't make sense. Suddenly, I see an inspector go up and Meg and lift her up. I knew this. I really knew this. I was right. She is going to be spared. The inspector leads Meg away. I keep my eyes glued to the tarp. Seeing her leave shreds of my heart. It is the first time in 4 years we have been separated. It's okay, I tell myself. I'm going to be dead soon anyway. A hand grasps my shoulder. Looking up, I see an inspector. The lady pulls me up, and to my surprise, she begins asking me detailed questions. She asks me about my old address, my name, my number, a whole list of personal information. I'm ashamed to realize I have forgotten almost everything about my family or anything related to my old life. My memories of anything outside the system are all in shambles. The inspector gives me a hard look. It's hard to say. You can't be... You nearly fit the criteria. You have to be interrogated by the head inspector. I'm not sure. You might be killed, or you might pass. I really have no idea. The head inspector. My mind reels. How's this happening to me? In horror, I see myself pulled away from my fellow friends. My heart burns, and an ache settles in my throat. My eyes beg me to cry, but I can't. They are all going to be killed. Shelley, Madison, Quinlan. There's nothing I can do about it. I can't even share with them. What if I don't pass? I'll be killed. Alone. Without my friends or any companion. What if I do? I'll be forced to live some sort of life, and I will have to live with the scars of this system and the faces of my dead friends seared upon my mind. Which is worse? I'm being dragged away. I close my eyes to keep out any last look from the three of them. I can't see the fear in their eyes, the knowledge that Meg and I aren't. Bang, bang, bang. The gunshots aren't loud enough to cover the screams. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of chapter 4.